Darrel Dryden from Train to Win. I'm going to go over intensity today, what that involves, and how we can use it to fluctuate in our periodization. So, of course, intensity. What is intensity? Intensity is a measurement of perceived exertion of say a 100% effort, or what we would call just a max. Intensity plays a huge role in not only our systematic daily, weekly, monthly, but also yearly plans. Intensity can be fluctuated, just like I said, in a set itself, in a week, and month, and year. So how do we fluctuate our intensity in a set? So we have a periodization set, say an 8, a 6, 5, 4, and a 3 rep. This intensity may be around 70% of a 1 rep max, 72.5, 75, 77.5, and say a 90. So the percentage in a full-on set can be changed. In an actual 1 rep or 2 rep, you can change the intensity using such things as accommodated resistance. So using bands and chains, you can increase intensity from the bottom part of the range of motion to the top part of the range of motion. For instance, if you have band tension at the bottom, a certain amount of tension in the height of the band could be, say, 70 pounds at the top, and could be maybe 30 pounds at the bottom, not including bar weight. So as the individual goes through the range of motion, the intensity, of course, increases from the bottom position to the very top position of the lockout. So intensity can be fluctuated that way. Now, intensity can also be fluctuated undulatedly. Let me grab a... So weekly, what we would call it undulated, high volume, low intensity on day 1, low volume, high intensity, day 2, medium volume, medium intensity, day 3. The volume, of course, or the low intensity, I would say, would probably be roughly around 40 to 50 percentile here, at least above 70 to 80 percentile here, and then a medium would be 60 to 70 percentile here. That would be an undulated intensity. This could be a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. And it would include the same lift, so your squat, 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 and then intensity can fluctuate through the week. Intensity also can vary for the year. If you use such a method as, say, linear periodization, the intensity for the first 4 months could be a low intensity with a high volume, trying to create general physical preparedness, so on and so forth, muscle hypertrophy. The next 4 months would be medium intensity with medium volume. You know, this would be, say, 15s and 12s, this would be 8s and 10s. And then your very last 4 months, you would have high intensity with low volume. This is where you would go anywhere from the 3 to 6s. So the intensity can fluctuate through monthly. Micro, meso, and macro cycles. Week, months, year. Intensity is your key for building absolute strength, which is not only what you can handle eccentrically, but isometrically and concentrically. That's your absolute strength. And over this period of time, you are trying to build absolute strength. Train to win, we usually do not do linear periodization as much as we do contrasting and block periodization. Which brings me to a contrast. Intensity can also be fluctuated within a given training session, such as a French contrast method. High intensity, low volume, say on a front squat. Then you can do high intensity, low volume on a plyo, such as box jump, unweighted. And then you can increase intensity by, say, a plyo that's weighted. And so you can fluctuate the intensity between each one. This one being the highest intense, next lightest intense, and then of course the heavy intense being weighted. So intensity can be fluctuated in a given set, in a given daily training program, a weekly training program such as undulation, or a yearly training program either blocked out for the year in a micro, meso, and macro cycle, or all the way across in a linear periodization where the intensity level would increase from month to month to month. So intensity is a good subject because you can change so many variables in it. Like I said, accommodated resistance and contrasting between a heavy and light load. So another method is a contrast method, which, for instance, if you're doing a pyramid of, say, 4 repetitions at a time, your 4 reps on your first set could be like 315, 335, 365, and then you'd fluctuate back again, and you would go 315, 335, 365. So you'll contrast, but you'll also ramp. That's another way to perform intensity in a given training session. This is something that there's nothing really written in stone. Prelipin's chart has a good intensity ratio for volume and intensity that is pretty much tried and true, but there's always some fluctuations in there. This, in my opinion, not just frequency, duration, and those kind of things, but the intensity, changing the intensities for your athletes and for yourself is the key to your success. You can't just stay at one intensity all the time, or against you'll plateau. You don't want to change it too much, or you don't have enough consistency in order to make a gain. I believe that a block periodization is usually the absolute best when it comes to fluctuating intensity, if your ultimate goal is athletic performance. Even if you're in, some form of, aesthetics such as bodybuilding and those kind of trainings, block periodization will work, but it's definitely something that is much, much, much more advantageous for athletes to block, because you can peak. You can have several peaking blocks within a season that won't fry your athletes out, and you can variable the intensities to high, medium, and low, and make super good progress in season work. So there's a little small breakdown with intensity. I hope some of that makes a lot of sense to you. I kind of went all over the place, but that's Darrel Dryden, Train to Win.